Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got some new gameplay info and leaks for the new NCAA College Football 25 game that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and jump straight into this thing, man.
Sports College Football 25.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna talk mostly gameplay today, and we also have a
so
little
pumped
bit of
about this
information
damn
on
game,
some
bro.
mode stuff.
Been way too long since we've had a NCAA game.
Normal. I am on a vacation right now, but this news dropped, and I thought some news might drop, so I did want to bring my travel equipment with me just in case, so I can get you guys updated as quick as possible. But if it sounds a little bit janky and not as crisp as usual, that's why. This is somewhat of a leak. This isn't straight from EA, but EA is going to be releasing a ton of more information in the coming weeks as we lead up to the release of the game in July. They're going to be going over gameplay and modes in depth over the next few weeks, so make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of those important videos when they drop. Trying to get to 600k subs before the release of this game, so if everybody watching just subscribed, we could literally hit that number.
Make sure I go subscribe to
Eric EA Sports
bro.
College Football 25 is coming from none other than Mike Straw. Now, if you've been around my channel for some time now, you've heard me talk about him before. He's always a credible source when it comes to usually Madden related leaks, but now that EA Sports College Football is another game being made by EA, he's got some connections on that side of the development as well, and he brought us some really important information today. Now, keep in mind, this guy has always been right, at least as far back as I can remember. If he says something about the game, it's legit, it's in the game. He was the one that leaked the passing system for Madden 23 a few years ago, for example. Now, this might kind of go without saying a little bit, but he did say
so it's going to be the same. Is it going to be the same passing system from Madden for the new NCAA game, or is it going to be different?
On the option,
I would think it would be the same as Madden now,
it's
but
a college football game, so that should be a thing.
Never know with EA,
there are
bro.
Lots of new animations for the options, for the pitches that look great. He also mentioned that teams that run the option predominantly will be better at it. They'll be faster at it. He said that a real focus for this game is making it a faster paced game, much like real life. It's going to noticeably be faster than Madden, but especially when it comes to the different options and the
because sometimes the Madden gameplay should be a little slow. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
All the different trickery, the triple options and the motions, you're gonna notice,
especially with some animations,
faster, and especially from the teams that are built to run this, you're gonna notice that difference, and it's gonna be a little bit harder to stop versus a team that maybe doesn't run it that often. He said you're going to immediately feel the quickness in the way that the O-line blocks and the ways that the QBs and the running backs react. There's gonna be, I guess, a lot more urgency when you're running the option plays because things do happen so quickly on those types of plays. He also mentioned that there's going to be a lot of unique playbooks with a bunch of different plays and formations that we haven't seen in Madden and that won't be in Madden because college offenses are a lot crazier than NFL offenses. Moving on, the next thing that he touched on was the difference in 5-star players versus the lower level players. So he said that you will notice a difference between a 5-star athlete and a 2-star athlete on the field. He also said that the powerhouse teams will noticeably be harder to beat. You'll be able to tell that they have more of those 4- and 5-star recruits. What he said was supposedly from what
this must be
from his source at EA, he said that like 5-star players will react and move differently than 2-star players. They'll be able to maybe get certain animations. Let's say, for example, this is just me assuming here, they'll be able to get some different animations maybe than the lower level players. And this is something that I think Madden's
unique,
really
bro.
done a great job with. Sure, you know,
I kind of like that.
A 95 and a 75, but not to the extent that it should be, especially when you consider wide receiver and DB matchups. The lower rated cornerbacks on a lot of plays will still keep up with those high-end route runners, and I don't think we're going to see that in this game. I think if you've got a 4-star or a 5-star receiver lined up on a 2-star cornerback, you're going to notice the mismatch, and he's probably going to abuse him. He's probably going to be able to get some crazier animations on him that the DB might just have a really tough time going against. And of course, we'll know more about this as EA breaks it down further in the coming weeks, but I do think this is something we should notice and we should want to see out of the game, because when you're building up those lower level teams, you want it to be a challenge when you go up against these harder teams. You want your 2- and 3-star players to not look like 5-star players on the field, otherwise what's the point? Moving on, he said that this game will have plenty of new animations that are specific to only college. He said that even though the game is on the same engine as Madden, that they have done
probably because of the different rules and shit, like you only need 1 foot in bounds for the you know what I'm saying, for it to be called a catch.
Unique and different as possible.
That's sick though. I fuck with that.
He said that there will be certain animations that are also allowed here that maybe might not be allowed in Madden because EA has to, and I quote, make Big Daddy NFL happy, which we all know that. Now, he didn't say specifically what this meant,
on that one.
An example that I came up with here, and again, we don't know that this is the exact thing that's in the game, but An example would be in Madden, the helmets cannot pop off of players anymore, or certain big hits aren't allowed the same way.
Are they about to bring that back?
Because the NFL does not like that. However, in this game, potentially, maybe we could see helmets getting.
Yes, bro. Finally, bro. I've been waiting for this shit to come back for the longest. Bro, I know this made me happy right here. Yeah, Madden might get left in the dust after this game, bro. 100%.
Because they don't have that bigger entity to really.
See, Madden could have had this if they weren't so soft, bro.
These same animations.
Come on now. Well, it's not Madden, it's the NFL.
There are hundreds and hundreds of different animations.
But come on,
are not in Madden that some you won't see in Madden.
Yeah, the helmet pop-offs finna be crazy.
For example,
especially when you playing online, bro, like with your homies and shit.
But even
that shit finna be fire.
I do think they're going to try to make this game as unique as possible. That's what they told him, at least. So there's probably going to be even maybe some different tackle animations in there. Yes, they're going to have same ones that you see in Madden as well. They're not just going to do away with those, but they're going to add more onto it to try to make this game feel as different as possible. And he said from everybody that he has talked to at EA, and of course we have to wait and see to really know, but he said the game definitely feels different than Madden. While it has its similarities, it's going to feel unique and not an exact copy and paste with just college teams.
Good.
He also went on to talk about the wear and tear system that is going to be one of the bigger focuses for gameplay.
Yeah, I was really happy about that. That's going to add more flavor to the game, bro.
He said this will be more noticeable for longer quarter games and sim games rather than online play where the quarters are much shorter. So this is going to be a bigger deal for like dynasty mode players.
Yeah.
Now an example he
like
gave
me, bro. I'm definitely going to be playing
dynasty
mode a lot.
Running back early in the game who breaks off a touchdown.
Let's
and
go.
Then you try to just kind of overuse them and just turn him into a workhorse, despite the fact that that's not his typical workload. You're going to notice how he wears down quicker due to a variety of factors, such as maybe his stamina not being as good as a workhorse back, or him just not used to taking the amount of hits on his body. You know, if he's a guy that gets 7-8 carries a game and now you're giving him 20, he's going to wear down quicker. And there's going to be, I'm sure, a bunch of other ways that this is going to be implemented as well, but that was just one example he gave. He said there's going to be more ways to substitute because of this, and you're going to have to really be on top of that in this game so that your players aren't just wearing down and you're not abusing guys too much.
I like that.
Now, in terms of game modes, he said he couldn't really talk too much specifically about game modes just yet because his source does not want him revealing a lot of stuff yet, but he did touch on a couple of things. He said that a lot of effort went into those modes like Dynasty and Road to Glory, and he said that EA is banking on these modes having a lot of replay value, and he specifically mentions Road to Glory that there's going to be a lot of off the field stuff to do. He said a lot of effort has been put into the off season of these modes. He also said,
bro, they should make, I ain't gonna lie, they should make it like 2K where you can walk around with your player and shit, like go to like different spots and stuff like that. That would be really good
than the older games. Now, in which ways, he said he didn't know. He just said it will be deeper, and I think really that's just going to mostly be because of NIL and the transfer portal. That's going to be, you know, a thing that we didn't really have in the old games. We didn't have NIL.
Are you going to be able to like visit different teams and shit?
In this game. So
like there's going to be like cutscenes and stuff like that with like dealing with that type of stuff.
They know what the community
that would be sick. I ain't gonna lie.
And they brought in a lot of people from
I would love that.
From the revamp team and stuff like that. People from the modding team, I believe, even. So he said they know what the community wants with this game and they're not going to let them down. He said this is a full-fledged release. This is not a game that they're pushing out there as like a starting point or a foundation game where things are going to
they trying to make it pay off.
With the
that's much respect to EA, bro, because you know with Madden and shit, it's been let down these last couple of years with some stuff, especially franchise with the bugs and shit. People's franchises getting deleted.
Maybe not every little single detail,
but you know, I feel like this game might put faith back into EA. It depends on how the game actually plays, but you know, it might be a step in the right direction for EA.
He did also go on to talk about crossplay for Online Dynasty. He said it will be coming. It's probably not going to happen this year. But he said that the focus for EA was to get the gameplay right and to get the modes right above everything else. And he said, look, I know a lot of people, when it comes to gameplay, especially with EA, and even some of the modes, he said, you know, people have been burned in the past, or people don't fully trust EA, and he said, you know, I can't completely blame you on that, but he said that's what their focus was for this game, and he said that they also want to make sure that crossplay is going to work properly in the other modes that it's in first before they just throw it into Dynasty, because really with this
bro,
game,
imagine they have can you have crossplay in Road to Glory? or
The
am I
last thing you
tripping
want to
about
see
that?
is crossplay having some type of crazy bug and then it just messes up online dynasty, because if that happens, then that's going to really hurt this game very badly. So we have good dynasty, we have online dynasty, but you just can't crossplay as of right now. But it is something that's going to come probably sooner rather than later. He also mentioned that this game is going to feature a lot of equipment that won't be in Madden. He said some
Yeah,
of
like,
it he
bro, the
doesn't think
shiesty
will
mask,
carry
bro,
over,
the
but as we
shiesty
talked
mask
about
would go
before on this channel,
crazy.
the NFL
Bro,
has
I'm
a
definitely
lot of
finna put that on
strict
my
guidelines
dude
when
for
it
Road
comes
to
the
Glory.
uniform policy.
That's finna be
So if
sick.
it's something that goes against the uniform policy, they're likely
I'm
not
finna
gonna
have my
let it in
QB with
Madden,
a
at
damn
least in the,
shiesty on.
regular team
Oh,
version
bro,
of Madden.
kickers
Maybe
with
if you're playing
shiesties
in the
too.
yard or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
finna
like
go
the
crazy.
more
Bro, can
crazier
you,
game mode.
bro? I hope you can add like multiple sweatbands and shit. Like some niggas be in college, like be having like 20 sweatbands on their arm and shit, bro.
I guess
That
you
would be
call them,
sick.
that's different, but in terms of real teams on the field, they're not going to let equipment that goes against the uniform policy. But he said there will be a lot. That's what he said. A lot of equipment in this game that's not in Madden. Some of it will carry over the stuff that's allowed, but you're going to see the stuff that isn't allowed be in this game. And another tidbit that he dropped that was interesting, he said that from what he understands, there is no ESPN license for the game. He said, but the issue with that for EA was that if the ESPN license is in the game, ESPN will have say over how they're presented in the game, similar to how the NFL has say on how they're presented in Madden. And they didn't kind of want to deal with that. They want to do it the way they want to do it. They don't want to have to answer to another corporation. And I think that is an important thing with this game. The less people EA has to answer to, the more creative they can get with things. Now, he did also say later in the video that last time the deal was up for renewal, ESPN didn't agree with a new deal with EA anyway. If I heard him right, that's what he said. So it could just be a matter of also ESPN just not agreeing to, you know, whatever amount of money EA is offering them. It could be, you know, a business related thing. But he said that obviously you're still going to have the ESPN commentators. They have the rights to the likeness of the ESPN commentators, but you're just basically, you're not going to see the ESPN logo on the scoreboard, which to me isn't the biggest deal in the world. As long as the presentation is good, I don't personally need the letters of ESPN on the screen to make it feel special, as long as the actual presentation itself is good. And the last thing he kind of ended on, which is really important, is he said that this is the truly first current gen football game from EA. Current gen meaning PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S, only the latest consoles. Now, some people still refer to that as next gen, but that it's current gen now. You know, it's been out for a few years now. And he said this is the first truly current gen game where it's only going to be on those systems. Madden still comes out on last gen, and I believe Madden 25 is also still going to be releasing on last gen.
And then they said, I think after this year, I think they said they're gonna stop like making like Madden for like the old consoles and shit.
He said this game,
so this might be the last Madden
for
for old consoles
on those consoles. And with that in mind, they're able to really push the boundaries of the systems. They're able to do some things that maybe they can't completely do with Madden. Even though the current gen version of Madden does have a lot of differences at this point than last gen's version, when you still have to consider last gen, number one, that takes development time and hours and resources, even though it is kind of mostly copy and pasted at this point, you still have to consider and put time into some of the things you have to do over there, and you have to consider how the game is running and things like that, I believe. But with this, they've only for the last few years focused on this being on the latest consoles, so you're going to see the game play a little bit better. You're going to see the game look a little bit better than Madden because it's only been focused for those systems, and honestly, that's a really good thing. That's
probably why it's gonna play much faster than Madden.
The best football game EA's ever released. If it's on point, if there's no major issues, I don't see why this wouldn't be their best football game ever. But they have to nail everything. You know, they can't have bugs and have all those glitches that Madden has.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see like actual gameplay when that comes out, bro. I'm gonna be so happy.
If you want to know more about some specific things that we saw in the trailer for this game that you might have missed, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.
Hey man, what do you guys think? Like I said before, bro, this might be, if everything goes right with it being, like I'm saying, like the gameplay being great and shit like that, this has the potential to be game of the year, hands down, probably best game of all time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna go that far. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on my post notifications, you'll notify whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 200 subs, so we get there for more banger content like this. Without further ado, I'm out. Gang.